Okay. Testing. So for this video about a premonition dream I had, I wanted to do things a bit differently. So for a backstory, the first premonition dream I had about a future boyfriend or romantic relationship happened around 2022, 2023. And it was a summer fling I had, and I made a previous video if you'd like to go watch it. But after this relationship ended, the end of the relationship was symbolized by the end of the dream. The end of the dream was the gun, and the end of my summer fling was homeboy's gun behind his front door. But yeah. Anyway, so for the entire month of July, I was really depressed because I was like head over heels in love with the guy from the summer, and I thought he was the answer to all my problems. I thought the universe had provided him as like he was the final one, the one I've been waiting for, the one we all seek romantically to be with forever. But alas, I think it was the universe showing me that what I had hoped for in life, he was basically the best that I was going to get. So I needed to change. But stubborn and stuck in my ways, I just wasn't quite there yet. However, in July, a couple weeks after my relationship with him ended, I was sleeping most of the time. I didn't want to be awake, so I would just take my trazodone and sleep. And one night, I had a premonition dream, and I knew it was a premonition as soon as I woke up from it. I felt kind of a feeling of peace, but I knew it was a premonition because of how vivid the dream was. It felt like I was sitting in a theater watching a movie on the big screen, like how vivid and like colorful, and you know how different it is like watching a movie in the theater versus like on your TV at home. Like that's what it felt like. So that's how I knew it was a premonition. It was like I was watching a film. And in the dream, there were no people. It took place like, imagine an Italian villa, like on the coast of the Mediterranean. It was really beautiful, very opulent. The little villa was like decorated and furnished very elegantly. Like everything was very beautiful. You could tell how much money was in the place. Like I'm talking like $1 million, like a millionaire's villa. And the dream started with, imagine the camera is my eyes. Like I was walking through this villa and I was just seeing everything as if I was standing there and looking through my own eyes. Like that was the lens. So I enter the villa and walk up a staircase and come to a room where I'm by myself, and I lay in the bed, and I'm just laying in the bed. But the odd thing about this room was that there were no windows. And I remember that because I thought it was bizarre. Like, why doesn't this bedroom have any windows? Especially if it was like on the second floor of this villa. You know what I'm saying? So it was weird. But then the dream ends there. It was kind of short, maybe a minute or two. But it was like slow motion. Like I was walking through this Italian villa, taking everything in, and then just laying on the bed and shutting my eyes and going to sleep in the room with no windows. When I woke up from the dream, I knew that in the dream I was older, I was wealthy, and I was a priest. So my immediate thoughts were that this was going to be me when I was older. I was going to be really wealthy. But the priest part didn't make any sense. I grew up Baptist and converted to the Mormon church, but I don't see myself joining the Catholic Church and becoming a Catholic priest. You know what I'm saying? Like, that part just didn't make any sense to me. However, I met a dude online that I had already met like several years prior, and he was the CEO of a furniture company, and the ball got rolling with him. We really hit it off. Like, most of my relationships have started with a grinder hookup that lasts like several hours. So we continued to see each other, spending time together. He was really insistent on, getting to know me. He was really he kind of initiated the relationship because I wasn't ready, because I was still grieving the summer fling. But once I went into his mother's house, I saw her staircase, and I immediately thought, that's the staircase from my dream. It wasn't an Italian villa. It was in Indiana. It was like a commercial building they were rehabilitating into a residence. So it didn't even look like an Italian villa. But due to, him being a CEO of a furniture company, like, it was very well decorated and had nice furniture, good taste. So despite, the differences in details, when I saw the staircase, I got the feeling, oh my goodness, this is the staircase from my dream. And, the CEO I was dating went to seminary to be a Catholic priest. So those two details, made me realize that he was the person I saw in my dream. And this was like a month or two prior to meeting and establishing the relationship. But if you go up the staircase of his mother's house, because it used to be a commercial property, she had to make bedrooms and stuff. So on the second floor, she has a makeshift bedroom created with folder dividers, and blankets for walls, essentially. So she has a bedroom on the second floor that has no windows. So I was like, holy moly, this is the Italian villa, and the CEO is who I saw in the dream, because he's an older man who's wealthy and is a Catholic priest. So I saw him walking up the stairs and laying in bed in the bedroom with no windows. So that's how I knew that our relationship was fated to be. With him, I would go on to travel, and he would help me become healthier and grow and see the error of my former ways and thinking. And he would also help me develop my psychic gifts. I would get premonitions of him that would come true. I even told him to pick a card from my tarot deck, and I predicted which card he would draw, and I was correct. So I'm really thankful for him. And yeah, that's the story of how I saw the CEO guy in a dream before getting in a relationship with him. A detail about the dream and my relationship that I forgot to mention was that his grandmother had given him a rosary, and he would let me take it and keep it with me because it made me feel safe. And I'm not Catholic, so I'm not familiar with the rosary, but he showed me it, and my faith has always been super important to me as a Baptist and a Mormon, and I have a face tattoo of a cross. So it's like Jesus is always on me, he's always protecting me. So the thing about the rosary, though, is that it's in this little tin metal box that has St. Peter the Apostle on it, who's the finder of the lost, and it was made in the Vatican. So the little rosary that I've been carrying with me, like the little box, came from Italy. So the fact that I saw him in an Italian villa makes more sense now that I've been carrying an Italian rosary with me during our relationship. So yeah, thanks for watching and listening. If you want to have psychic premonition dreams, there are crystals, and you just need to pray to the universe or God to give you a vision of the future, and that's basically how I got mine. Yeah, but make sure you're doing it in a place of light and love, because we all know that there's bad spirits out there, and you don't want your powers to come from bad sources. So just remember, to keep yourself grounded, and let the light and the love in. Thanks.